Yo, what up, man? Chris, somebody checking in, man. Back with the blog, man. Make sure that like button and subscribe button anyway, and I appreciate all the support. What up? URL has announced, man, Tay Roc versus Rum Nitty rematch. How y'all feel about it? How we feel? How we feel, man? How do we feel? It's starting to feel like summer madness again. URL, what y'all doing, man? I mean, it's cool. But I mean, is this the main event though? You know what I'm saying? If it's like, you know, a little mid battle on the card, you know what I'm saying? URL, I tried to give URL some matchups, man. I said, yo, why don't you do Roc and Mav, man? Tay Roc versus Mav, very, very dope battle. I know Tay Roc rematched Ill Will. Very surprising rematch. I did not know that was coming. That was actually a great battle. It's probably been one of the best battles this year is Ill Will. But it's not that I don't think it'll be a good battle. I mean, it's Rum Nitty, it's Tay Roc. These are two people that give 100%. You know what I'm saying? So whenever you, hold on, let me turn this off. Hold on. Whenever you have two people that give 100%, which is definitely what these two people do, it's gonna be a good battle. The thing is that they kind of got a little too friendly though. They were like kind of like cool, represent URL. You know, when I think of rematches, I'm thinking like I want to see some gritty, some grimy, some grudge stuff, or just people that you don't even see running in you know, you just ain't seen in a while. Like maybe like a Calico and Mav. I wouldn't be mad at a Calico and Mav rematch. But obviously you think of like Jazz and Hustle, two people that kind of don't really care much for each other. You think of battles like that. I'm not really the rematch guy. I got to keep it real with you. I don't really like rematches. I think some of them are cool. I may be okay with a Tay Roc and Clips trilogy. Maybe okay with that, just because I think we would get a good Clips. Certain battles I can stomach, but I'm not the rematch guy. Like, oh, we just gonna go back and start doing a bunch of rematches. This battle right here, to me, represents a way URL is trying to figure out a way to get Tay Roc on the card. That's really all this is at the end of the day, because Tay Roc has battled everybody, bro. And if Surf isn't going to battle, and Surf isn't going to battle. So, you know, I told you what's going on with that. I don't know why he's not battling. I don't know what's going on, but it's probably too soon for Surf to battle from if I'm being real, or maybe some other stuff going on. I'm not buying this. The music shit is bigger than the battle rap shit. I'm not buying it at all. Y'all can fall for the rabbit, you know, the banana in the tailpipe stuff. Y'all can fall for all that kind of stuff. I'm looking at the spins Surf is doing monthly, and you not gonna, until a club, I don't even know if Surf can walk into a club in Newark, New Jersey and get 30 racks for a show in New Jersey. So until that, you mean to tell me you can't get one, you don't want 150 to walk out on a URL stage? So I'm not buying that the music is bigger than the rap. So I'm not buying that at all. So it's another reason why he ain't battling. I don't know. I tried. Watch my last blog. I broke it down on the 3 reasons that he's probably not battling. So if you don't got that, I mean, it'd be nice if I don't really know who's on this card. I'm gonna keep it real with you, but I mean, it would be nice if Lux and Hitman just popped up on here. But I mean, considering that they weren't the first announcement, I highly doubt that Lux and Hitman is gonna pop up on here. So this is just another way to get Roc, who is obviously Mr. URL, to get him on the card some way, somehow, and get him to be in a matchup that makes sense. Because Roc has battled every single person, bro, unless you're gonna battle new guys, you know what I'm saying? There's some new, like he ain't battled Eunice, he ain't battled, like there's a lot of new guys he hasn't battled. But then again, that's not really a Summer Madness battle. So if you're looking at a Summer Madness battle, this is how you get Roc on the card. Rum Nitty has battled a lot of people too. I do think he probably still has a couple more matchups than Roc does that he can battle, but Roc has kind of battled everybody, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm not necessarily tripping on this matchup. I mean, we'll see what other battles they got, but you know, when you get a Roc battle and a Rum Nitty battle, it's hard to really complain about, you know, them giving their effort. And as long as they give their effort, I think they can make a good battle. I mean, obviously the first battle wasn't really all that great. This battle will be much better, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna completely knock it. I think URL just has to do more thinking outside the box when it comes to doing battles. You know, I tried to to send messages through people or whatever, like, yo, try to get Jazz and Couture. You know, Couture would have been somebody that was different. You ain't seen her in a while. It could have been her return. You can galvanize a lot of women and get them behind supporting the card as well, because women do play a big role in this sport. You know, they control a lot of spaces. They control just a lot of the dialogue on the time, you know, the timeline and stuff. So that would have been big. You know, Her Ball and Jazz would have been big. Bringing Big K back, bringing different people over and just having them battle certain people. Even if you see people that haven't even been on the platform for a while, like a Rosenberg Raw or something. Sometimes when you think outside the box, it can still create some type of different kind of energy. You know what I'm saying? So I think if you are relative, you're not going to spend that kind of money to get a Mook, Lux, or a Hitman, or you're not going, or you're waiting till Gnome to book those kind of battles or something. You're just trying to figure out this surf situation and figure out what you can do, because there is going to be a Gnome this year. So I mean, we don't have but what, 4 or 5 months to be trying to put these two events within the same year. Then you got to think outside the box, because the one thing that beats the big money spending matchups is like out of the box matchups that you necessarily wouldn't think, that's not super expensive. Like, to me, a Big K versus Bill Collector, those two were going at it when Big K won champion. That's a battle I wouldn't mind seeing if Bill Collector was home. And I don't think it'd be a super pricey battle compared to a Lux or a Hitman. So thinking outside the box and trying to put those battles together is what URL needs to do. But here's the bigger problem, though. Let's get to the bigger problem of this whole situation, because I'm hearing that there's no pay-per-view for this event. Now, I hope and pray that URL gets a lot of pressure and just feels the need, but I'm hearing, you know, that there's no pay-per-view for this situation, and you know, that's very disappointing, and that is what ruins battle rap. That completely destroys battle rap. One thing pay-per-view does, and I say this over and over again, it galvanizes the timeline. It makes people just talk about battle rap all day long, and people just ain't talking about drama. We talk about, yo, get away from the drama and talk about battle rap. That's what happens when there's a pay-per-view event. Everybody watches it, and URL is just gonna have to realize, bro, that one of their biggest problems is we live in a real-time society. Streamers right now are blowing up because they are streaming live. Their entire lives are streamed right now, in the moment. You see everything. That's pretty much the way the world is right now. When you got cameras and streaming and all this kind of stuff, you can see everything right now. The fact that I can want to see an event that happened on Saturday, but I can't see it until Wednesday or Tuesday is a problem in battle rap. That's a problem because it doesn't really go on much else in this world. Like, yeah, there's some TV shows and some Netflix shows that, you know, they might be filming and they'll tell you, oh, this, you know, this new series comes out in a couple weeks, but it was already filmed. But most of the stuff is, everything is moving to right now. Everything is moving to like real time watching. And the fact that URL is either afraid or can't do pay-per-view, because they should be streaming from their app. I thought they were going to do Summer Madness 16 from the app. It doesn't look like that's going to happen, but they should be streaming from the app. And the fact that they're not streaming from the app is what's going to be more than anything ruin battle rap. And I'm hearing that they're like afraid to do it because they think it might crash, which it possibly could. They ain't been streaming from the app. So anytime you start doing something you ain't been doing and you ain't really mastered it, it can always crash. If you get a bunch of people on the app or whatever, it can definitely crash. And a lot of people would complain that they spent their money or they're paying $8 a month for the app and then it's not working. That's definitely the case. That's why you should be running test runs on these app battles that people aren't paying that much attention to. You should be streaming app battles from the app as a tester to see if it works, or just do pay-per-view. So the fact that that's not happening is disappointing. You know what I'm saying? And I don't, like, URL ain't gonna be able to get hardly any support for anything if all year long everything is app. No YouTube, no pay-per-view, no nothing. It's hard to do that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the bigger problem. URL just need to figure that out, and maybe they'll realize that when they do Summer Madness and there's no pay-per-view, they'll realize that that shit gonna come and go. That is gonna come and go. You're gonna have an event on Saturday. Nobody's gonna know about it. They're gonna be doing their own thing. The battles will drop 3 days later, and people ain't gonna even be talking about Summer Madness, bro. You know what I'm saying? People are not going to be talking about Summer Madness 3 days later, and that's just the world we live in right now. If you can't get your content right now in 2026, it is a problem in this world, and that's where we are right now, and that's the bigger problem that URL has to deal with. Now, I'm not completely down on battle rap because I feel like, and what I'm hearing is there's some big shit coming to battle rap. So with that being said, we're going to get some matchups we want. You know what I'm saying? There's some big shit coming, and just be on the lookout from what I'm hearing. And another thing, we still got Easy and we still got Kid Slade, so I'm still getting a battle that I want to see, and these things are trickling down. So for me, there's still some battle rap. I mean, sometimes, you know, it may just have to go to another platform or another situation, but that's kind of where we are right now, and URL just has to figure that stuff out, because, you know, people need to be recapping and talking about these battles, and if it's not in real time, it is a problem. One of the reasons why just personally for me, I'm gonna tell you why I don't recap a lot of app-only battles. The way I set my trucking schedule up, I'm home a lot of time on weekends. I just go out during the week, come back on the weekend. Go out during the week, come back on the weekends. Like sometimes I may go to the West Coast and be gone for a while. So URL just had Nexus, right? I've been home from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Today is Tuesday. I'm about to go back out again. So I've been home for 4 days, right? If I was able to watch the Nexus card in real time, I could recap it. I could recap these battles. There's Danny Myers and Snake Eyes and Jack Boy and Rum Nitty. I could recap the battles. I've been here, right? Thirsting for content to talk about. I've been here. But what URL is going to do, they're going to drop the Nexus card probably tomorrow, Wednesday, right? I'll be on the road. I don't like recapping app battles on the road. So the fact that I have to wait to see weekend battles during the week, I'm gone. I'm back to my work life. I'm back to not paying attention to battle rap as much. I'm back to being on the road. I'm not going to be trying to hold no tripod and talk about some app battle that y'all probably ain't really seen yet anyway, and I can't put no clips in because I'm on the road. But had URL been able to do these app battles on Saturday and put them out on Sunday, but they're spending Sunday traveling back to wherever or whatever, even if they had it out by Monday, I probably could have done something. But it's not out yet. And this is a problem with not having real time battles drop, is that people just get back to their work life, and the bloggers have more time on the weekends to talk about this stuff. That's why I don't recap a lot of battles, because they happen on Saturday and drop when I go back to work. But if they were real time, if I could stream from the app and watch Danny Myers and Snake Eyes like this, I could end the thing and recap it on Saturday night. Can't do it, bro. That is the number one problem. I ain't gonna say number one, it's a lot of problems, but that's one of the problems in battle rap, is that, you know, you want app only support. But unfortunately, when I come back from out of town on Saturday, I'm not really thinking about these app battles. They happened a week ago. So that's another problem. You know, I mean, some of that is on me. I'm not just blaming URL. You know what I'm saying? I can still double back and recap the battles, but that's a lot of stuff is moving. And once I get past that moment, it's hard for me to go back and be like, oh yeah, remember Danny and Snake Eyes? They battled a week ago. Let me go recap it. It's hard for me to even be thinking about battle rap moves so much. It'd be so much stuff to talk about. So that's one of the problems. URL just has to get to live streaming at some point in capacity. And I know they're worried about bootlegs. I know that's one of the biggest things, but they just have to figure it out, bro. They just have to figure it out at the end of the day. Danny. So I had a phone call conversation. Y'all see the name on there? Y'all see that name? Mook manager, man. I talked to Mook's manager. I said, yo, what's up with the Danny battle, man? Mook said that shit over with, man. You shitting me? Mook said it's over with, Danny. That is a very, very bad look that Mook no longer is interested in the battle. I know you try to do an interview and you try to say, hey, Mook, I still want the battle. But Mook is one of these people, man, where you got to be trying to be on some type of win streak. You got to keep your name high. And he has to be able to get something out of the battle, which is, one, the culture wants to see it. There's a highly chance that promo is there. And your name has to kind of like be buzzing for him to kind of like want to battle you at this point. You know what I'm saying? He just battle Hitman. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at all that, he's not interested in the battle, and Danny has shot himself in the foot. At first, I thought Danny was being a little treated unfair. He had to pay for the Rex battle. Okay, cool. That did do a lot for the culture, though. He paid for the Rex battle. He got the battle. He battled Rex in New York. You know, it got moved from Black Ice. It was originally on Black Ice. It got moved to URL. What that did do, it opened it up. It opened up the West Coast to battle on URL. The West Coast was not battling on URL prior to that, except Disaster. Everybody else, like there was no Rum Nitty on URL. There was no Geechee Gotti on URL. These guys was not coming over here and battling. Danny kind of opened the doors to at least getting some West Coast respect. You know what I'm saying? To where, you know, Smack would kind of book these people. Smack really only kind of cared about like Daylight and Disaster for the most part. But Danny kind of represented like, yo, a West Coast dude can come over here and do his thing. So he did kick the door down. And at first I thought Danny kicked the door down, but then everybody lapped Danny. Because Rum Nitty, you could argue, is a bigger battler than Danny right now as far as status. Like I said, he may be possibly hosting Summer Madness, and then you just look at he won Cody and stuff like that. So you look at Rum Nitty there, Geechee Gotti then won Cody like 3 times, and then you became EFB, which is Geechee's joint. So you got kind of under Geechee in that. But you look at Danny Myers kicked open the door, and then everybody just became like a bigger West Coast battler than him. You know what I'm saying? Like, or even more respected. So you look at Geechee, you look at Rum Nitty, you look at Disaster, you look at B-Dot, you look at Daylight. Those 5 people right there, the culture kind of gravitated to even more than Danny. So a part of me for a while felt like Danny was getting the short end of the stick. Now, I know Danny got a lot of kids. I know the Vicky situation has been documented for a while. And I know Danny pretty much has to hold the house, you know, the house down. And it's a lot of respect for a guy that provides for his family. So I don't ever want to knock that. But the problem is that Danny battles for money. And I know y'all going to be like, well, everybody battles for money. But like, this is really what he does. You know what I'm saying? Some people battle and they got a little side job, little side hustle. Danny battles all the time, so he battles a lot. And in battling a lot, he just runs into issues. His big break was when he battled Roc, bro. His big break was when...
Boy, I will punch the last grandmother mouth. Punk ass pussy. Niggas pay you at a low number. You just said you did pay more than me. Cool. Who you finessing? Yesterday, all that rah-rah shit, who you was testing? Bitch, I will knock the white off your teeth. Then look at Nunu expression. Your timing all late. You just slammed on your face. You're smiling all sprint. Everything that hit the tile all ache. I'm not at all fake. I put your daughter, Dominique, in the oven. Lock it closed. You won't be coming home to Dominique. He'll be coming home to Domino's, nigga. Domino's.
You said everything that was gonna be aching, that hit the Tylenol. That's something that I don't believe. Bitch! If this motherfucker peel, your soul will leave. And the lines that came after that wasn't ill either. Nigga, if you make my daughter Domino's, I'm putting 5 in the Little Caesar. I am a Mike P exposed that his wife is a crackhead. And that boy is the weakest. Vicky Myers. I'd be lying if I said that shorty is decent. Hey, Smack, I wouldn't touch that bitch. Plus, how the fuck Mike P know all Victoria's secrets? You genius! This nigga brought up my wife. I knew he would throw a shot. That's why I crept up, waiting to come out about 4 o'clock. I loaded the Glock. Vicky said, nah, let me throw the shot. It's gonna be easy. I spent most of my life smoking rock high. Glock burst, headshot. Berettas are fly. The shit I'll do to Don K, even the devil may cry. I'll level this guy. In South Central, no one was good. I'll drag this nigga for miles. Morale is low in the hood. Let's get this understood. I handle mine. Each one of my mans inclined to stomp you the fuck out for fake talking like pantomimes. They drag you to the back room, kicking and stomping. Hands is flying. That's when I walk through the door like, stop. Hammer time.
That was Danny's biggest battle right there. That was his break. Now, in a perfect world, if you're not battling for money, you can just sit out and be like, yo, I'm going to ride this win right here, and I'm going to ride it out until I get some respect. I get Surf, I get Mook, I get Hitman, I get Lux, I get all these different people that I want to get, Calico, and all these other names that I may or may not have battled that I want to get. But when you battle for money, that's not really the case. You can't really do that. You know what I'm saying? Like from here, I think he battled Sharon in like a 1-rounder. I think he battled Av. He battled Av in a battle that I think a lot of the culture probably has him losing. I think he's losing that on the app. He also battled, this was another bad loss for Danny right here. This is right after Roc too. He battled Frack. A lot of y'all might not remember this battle.
All right, Danny. It all come down to
I'm just here to rap. I ain't come to talk about this and that. I ain't got no angles for this match. So in preparation, I chose to show our separation with the facts. Listen, Frack, you try to take my shortcomings and quantify it. Then you try to come up with clever ways to monetize it. But if I'd have tried it, I'd have been in all the blog sites, the Vitaflies, and 3 Lettermans like them took the race angle. So while I was writing, I decided to take lyricism in its purest form and modify it. Like, what's an angle? I found a definition and solved it. It's a particular way of approaching an issue or problem. It's a particular way of approaching an issue or problem. So, fuck, man. Damn, man. I'm sorry, y'all. You got it.
Battle right here was, it doesn't have a lot of views, but it did go kind of viral because I think Danny choked like the majority of the rounds in this. And this was, even though it's just Frack and it's Ruin Your Day, and it's not a super big battle, don't get me wrong. But, you know, these are the kind of battles that Danny had coming off the Roc situation. And, you know, like I said, if you was managing Danny, you'll be like, yo, just stand on your 10. Just stand on your 10 until you can get some of these names that you really, really need. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, unfortunately, Danny has just battled so much. So then he finally gets Mook to just on a humbug, just name drop him in the interview that wasn't even nothing that he wasn't even, seemed like he was chasing Mook. It seemed like he was always on the Lux train or whatever. And then Mook comes along like, yeah, I battle him and everything. And, you know, you can't lose to Snake Eyes, bro. Like, Snake Eyes was Dot Mob at one point in time. Like, he was literally Dot Mob, and he's from Harlem. And it's like, yo, you can't even beat my little mans. You know what I'm saying? That's how Mook is going to look at it. Like, you can't beat my little mans. So that becomes a situation where, and then once the culture, I probably would have never admitted I lost. I mean, it may have came out anyway. Maybe people would have recapped it, but it would have been an app-only battle. Snake Eyes would have done what he does. He would have went online. He would have said he beat you. But Snake Eyes think he beat everybody, bro. Snake Eyes then got smoked and came online and said he won. This nigga still think he beat Swamp. He ain't ate one lick of raccoon. This nigga still think he beat Swamp and he lost. So Snake Eyes would have just done what Snake Eyes do. He just was online saying he beat Loso last week, and maybe he did. He gonna say he beat everybody. He probably think he beat Bad News in a fight. This nigga think he beat everybody, even though he lost 3 sneakers. So I don't really know. But my thing is, let Snake Eyes do what he do, bro. The battles would have dropped on the app in about 3 or 4 days. Maybe or maybe not. Maybe or maybe not. People would have recapped the battle. Maybe me, maybe Caps, maybe, you know, J Smo, maybe 3 Letterman. People might have recapped it, maybe not. It could have got swept under the rug to the point where maybe it doesn't hit Mook's radar like that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it doesn't really jump on Mook's radar too tough. It's not like Mook know all your wins and losses and everything like that. And this battle wasn't big enough for it to be like, it wasn't a pay-per-view or nothing like that. You know, granted, people was kind of, this was one of the better battles on the card, so it might have got talked about. My thing is, I just would have been quiet till the battle came out. I wouldn't have been doing no interviews talking about my throat parts. and all this kind of stuff. Like battle rappers, make sure you take your water. Oh, by the way, I lost, but hey, Mook, I still want the Mook battle. Like I wouldn't have been doing all that. I would have just humbly just left the venue and just bounce. Let Snake Eyes do his thing. So I think it's just unfortunate that someone of Danny Myers' caliber won't really get those battles, because I do think his problem isn't that he can't compete with those people. It's just that he battles too much. And when you battle a lot, you're battling every couple of weeks. You're battling, two times on back-to-back weeks. It's just hard to remember, bro. Hard to remember. Then you flying across country on the East Coast right now, and you fly back, and like this is Danny Myers' schedule from even when I went out and hung out with him in California. He's home on the weekends and he's out during the week. He's home during the week, and then he's flying out on Friday to go to these battle rap events and battle, and then he comes back on Monday and he's right back at the crib, or Sunday right back at the crib. A lot of that zigzagging and having to write, it's a lot, bro. It's a lot. You know what I'm saying? And, people was already saying he was ghostwriting for Hustle at one point in time. Like that was a big thing. So, I mean, God forbid if you're writing for other people too. You know what I'm saying? Now you spread yourself super thin. So when you look at all of that, it's just, I don't think he's going to get the Hitmans, the Mook, the Luxes. He's not going to ever get those battles, but he's been way too good in battle rap to not get those battles. And I just feel like it's unfortunate. Like, it's very unfortunate, because Danny's a really good guy, bro. Like, when you look at a lot of people in this battle rap shit, he's a really good guy. He take the criticism. He still do the interviews. He talk shit with the fans. He rock with people. Like, he ain't nothing like the rest of these battle rap diva-ass niggas who think they too good for the culture. And I do look at him as he gave his life to battle rap. He gave his life to battle rap, bro. So, but yeah. Like I said, I talked to Van, man. I talked to Van of the Mook stuff. It's a wrap, Danny. Let me know your thoughts. Chris Unbiased. Holla at your boy.